Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Could there be a Harris-Biden stimulus plan? Let's quickly talk about that. First, Donald Trump was asked today during his press conference if he expects another stimulus bill to pass prior to the election. And Trump said that he's already passed a stimulus plan. And then he started talking about the payroll tax cut, the eviction ban, and the unemployment boost, his executive orders that he recently signed. All of these are things with issues of their own, including uncertainty on whether or not the payroll tax deferral will actually be forgiven. During his first press conference, he said he's going to work on getting it forgiven right away. But then he's changed his tune and said, maybe after the election he'll work on forgiveness. He did stay consistent on saying that in January, if he's reelected, he might consider just terminating the payroll tax entirely. But he won't take money out of the Social Security fund. Instead, he will take money out of the general fund, which basically means adding to the debt. To which Donald Trump was asked today, wait, don't we already have enough debt? And isn't that one of the concerns of Republicans, that we have too much debt? And Donald Trump's response was, well, we're going to have a lot of growth. And this is really interesting because it's starting to make us think that, wait a minute, if Biden and Harris have potentially their own stimulus ideas and Trump has his stimulus ideas called his executive orders, is this election possibly going to be one about who brings more stimulus money? After all, think about it. If Donald Trump is saying, hey, this payroll tax cut will get forgiven if I get reelected, and Biden and Harris have their own ideas for stimulus, it kind of starts making sense. It almost seems as though the politicians are now expecting us to vote for who's going to give the biggest stimulus check. This takes me back to the days of high school, when people are trying to run for student council, and they say, we will have free ice cream if you elect me. This is getting ridiculous. I don't even care which side you're on. This is obscene. But let's talk for a moment about the Biden-Harris stimulus plan. What do we know? Well, we don't know everything, but we know a little bit. Kamala Harris's plan currently includes free COVID testing. Imagine that, free testing during a pandemic. But I guess this could be valid. I mean, after all, right now, the 15 to 20 minute COVID tests cost about $50 if you want to get a quick response test. Maybe this would be free quick response testing. In which case, I could see that as a stimulus. Free masks, at least for the people who would want to wear a mask. Monthly checks if you make less than $120,000 per year. Keep in mind, with Kamala Harris's $2,000 per month plan, a family of 4 would receive $8,000 per month for every single month during the pandemic, and an additional 3 months after the pandemic ends. However, Joe Biden's campaign was specifically asked if Joe supports the $2,000 per month campaign plan, and Joe Biden's group declined to comment on that. Kamala Harris's plan would also include an 18-month eviction ban. Meanwhile, Donald Trump calls Kamala Harris Trump's draft pick, basically saying that she's the best case scenario for Trump. At the same time, Donald Trump began his press conference today by comparing our success as a country to the rest of the world under Donald Trump's leadership. He showed us how well our stock market has recovered and how it looks like the shape of a V compared to the rest of the world. It's almost as though Trump seemed to indicate that we might not need more stimulus money, that the executive orders that he've done are enough. After all, the stock market is doing great. Larry Kudlow echoed these sentiments when he expressed basically zero urgency to get another stimulus package done. Trump also reiterated that nobody will get evicted, but everybody seems to be doubting that given the text of the executive order he signed, saying that evictions may be temporarily halted to prevent the spread of COVID. Trump also reiterated his plans to terminate the payroll tax entirely after his re-election. Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin tried having a discussion today. This is the first discussion that we've actually heard about between Democrats and Republicans since Friday. That is, in the last 5 days, all we've gotten has been a phone call. And after the phone call, Pelosi said, we are miles apart. She says, why can't we solve our differences? Pelosi gives us a hint and says she has billions of dollars of food aid going to food insecure children and families via things like the SNAP program, which if you have not yet applied and you think you might qualify, call 211 from your phone, 211, and you can see if you're eligible for food stamps through the SNAP program. I think they do it with an electronic card now. She says, we have over $64 billion for food, for the SNAP program, food initiatives, children, food groups, and more. She says that Republicans want $240,000. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin says, well, we had a deal on food, but apparently Nancy Pelosi doesn't think they have a deal. And that's just on food. We haven't even started talking about unemployment, state and local government pay, and all of the other items that are supposed to be agreed upon in this package. Of course, we're expecting $1,200 stimulus checks, but at this point, I'm going to be Santa Claus before we have another stimulus check. Because I had a plan of not shaving until the next stimulus check was actually not just verbally approved, but in writing approved, and the bill actually got passed. And then I could shave while we wait for the check to come. But now it looks like we're not going to have Santa come over our house. Santa's going to be here already. This is ridiculous. Instead, the White House, according to Nancy Pelosi, is not budging from their positions. And right now, that position appears to be no urgency for a stimulus package. So I'm interested to know what you think. Do you think that the next election is going to come down to who offers the biggest stimulus check? And are we basically now waiting to see, what's the debate going to look like in terms of who's going to pitch the bigger check? A payroll tax cut? $1,200 stimulus checks per month? Or is Biden going to squash the $1,200 per month? And is it going to be payroll check or payroll tax cut versus something else? I guess we'll see. All I can say is I'm so frustrated today that I double-checked that my life insurance was still active, and it is. It's very easy to do from your phone, and you could do so as well within as little as 5 minutes. You could Apple Pay and Android Pay for it. I also posted a complete guide on how to buy real estate. You don't have to pay for that at all. It's completely free. How to buy your first rental property. It's in a noob versus pro style, so it's really easy to follow. I encourage you to check it out. YouTube showed it to like a fraction of all of y'all. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate y'all. I will keep bringing you updates on whatever happens in this crazy world. And folks, thank you so much. We will see you next time.